Arthur's Puppet Theater presents Cinderella. Welcome to Arthur's Puppet Theater, where you choose what happens. First, choose who's playing each part. Who do you want to play the lead role?
Naturally!
Who should be the fairy helper?
All right!
Who should be the prince?
Yes!
And that means I am the narrator. Hey, thanks! And now, on with the show! Arthur's Puppet Theater presents Cinderella, as directed by you. Once upon a time, there was a young lady named Cinderella. She lived with her stepmother and stepsisters, who happened to be of the evil sort. They made her do chores all day, and she was never allowed to have any fun. One night, Cinderella's stepfamily went to the royal ball. As usual, Cinderella had to stay home and clean. Suddenly, a fairy inventor appeared.
Ha-ha! I'm here!
Who are you?
Why, I'm your fairy inventor. My science project for today is to get you to the royal ball.
Then the fairy inventor aimed her transcombobulator at Cinderella and said,
Fasten your seatbelts. This could be a bumpy ride. Oh, wha-bam!
and quicker than you could say fashion makeover, Cinderella's rags turned into a beautiful movie star dress.
Darling, it's spectacular! I'm ready for the red carpet.
The fairy inventor aimed her transcombobulator again and said,
I hope this works. Last time, half the kingdom lost power. Kapow!
and in the blink of an eye, Cinderella's old shoes transformed into new sneakers.
Sneakers with a dress? Ah, it's all the rage.
Finally, the fairy inventor aimed her transcombobulator at a pumpkin and said,
I usually work with potatoes, but this will have to do. Ba-boom!
and right before Cinderella's eyes, the pumpkin transformed into a magical carriage.
This is lovely, darling. A classic, like me.
Hey, it worked! That's surprising. Oh, by the way, the warning label says you must return by midnight or else. Well, I have to transcombobulate out of here. Bada bing, bada boom.
Cinderella couldn't believe it. She was finally going to have some fun. She hopped in the magical carriage, which, to be honest, smelled very pumpkin-y, and rode off to the royal ball. Cinderella was very excited as she entered the castle, and she soon caught the eye of none other than Prince Bot 5000. He walked up to Cinderella and asked,
Greetings, human. There is a new dance called the shake. True, false. Will you do the shake with me?
Cinderella didn't need to think twice before she said,
Let's
dance, but if I slip on a banana peel, make sure to record it. My social media would love that.
Now, as it turns out, the two of them had such a wonderful time dancing that they lost track of the time. And suddenly, the clock began to strike 12.
You must return by midnight, or else... Bada boom!
Sorry, darling. My star power is failing. I have to go.
Negative. Does not compute. Username not found. Engaging digital tears. Wah, wah, wah.
But Cinderella had already run off, losing one of her sneakers along the way. Outside the castle walls, Cinderella heard the final stroke of midnight fade away. Suddenly, her dress, her sneakers, and her carriage all transformed back to their original form with a loud Cinderella exclaimed,
I wonder if you can eat a pumpkin that you were just riding inside.
And so Cinderella walked home, thinking about everything that had happened that night. The next morning, the prince decided to search for his future princess, and he knew just where to start. The Three Bears house from the Goldilocks story.
Question. Have you seen my dance partner?
I haven't, but if you want a software update, I have some code that's just right.
But the prince was determined, so he went on his way to search throughout the kingdom. Later that day, Cinderella was cleaning her stepfamily's house when she heard the knock on the door. It was the prince, and he was holding the missing sneaker.
I have been searching both far and wide in equal amounts. My logic is this. If this fits your foot and you want to marry me, then I will be your husband.
Cinderella tried on the sneaker, and of course, it fit.
I have located the only one who matches my search term. True love.
Me too. See you later, alligators.
So Cinderella and her prince returned to the palace and lived happily ever after. And the moral of the story is, if you ever have the chance to dance in a castle, do it! You never know who you might meet. The end. Tap the play button to watch the show you made, or tap the new button to make a new story with different choices.